He was waiting all season to make a big move just to unfortunately be cut at the final five. He joins me now, our fifth place finisher on Survivor Season 48. Mitch, good morning, Mitch. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great.
Okay, so I'm curious to know what kind of was your strategy heading into the game and filming?
Yeah, going out there, I knew that if I could get past that first tribal council and I could get my feet under me, that I was going to be great out there. I knew that I would do great in challenges. I knew that I would be a great person to have a solid alliance with, and I knew that I would get along with anyone and everyone. So I wanted to build some deep relationships that would ultimately take me deep.
Yeah, well, and the relationships did take you deep in the game. So I guess overall you did kind of complete your strategy, but you already know what I'm going to ask. The whole fan base is like upset with you. You kept saying every week, "I want to make a big move. I want to make a big move," and it's like you kept waiting for the right time. So
Yeah,
I'm curious, like, what was the holdup? Why didn't you just like do it? Why didn't you just go for it and kind of keep waiting for the right time?
yeah. Everyone's been really upset about the me not making a move at 8. Everyone was like, "Mitch, like, you're obviously on the bottom. You're on the outs. Like, you and Camilla and Star and Mary should make a move." Unfortunately, that wasn't shown. Like, I made a Final Four deal with Star. I said, "Me, Kyle, and Camilla, and you. I will give up immunity at 4. I will take Kyle out in a fire. A few minutes after that, I go up to the beach. There is Kyle, there is Joe, there is Eva, and Eva looks me in the face and she tells me everything that I just had a conversation about. So I look at this moment, I'm like, Scar, like, I literally just promised you a final three, and you go and tell the people that were supposed to be voting out that exactly what I told you. And then what everyone sees from the edit afterwards is when she comes up to me later on and says, "Hey, do you want to make a move?" And I say, like, no, that's a joke. Yeah, because the a few hours earlier, I made a deal with you. I told you I wanted to take you to the final three, and she was just unable to not tell people everything. She told people all sorts of stuff, so much so that you just, like, never knew. Like, you never knew, like, what she was telling you. Was it truthful? Was she gonna work with you? And even when she was voted off, I told her, "You're going home tonight. Please, please." Like, I was saying, "Hey, like, it's gonna be you. Please, like, play your shot in the dark. Like, I wanna work with you moving forward." But she chose not to because she still thought that she was playing with Joe and Eva and Shockey. And when she had her exit interviews, she was telling everyone, "Oh, yeah, like, that I was delusional." Girl, I told you that you were going home. You weren't playing with them. You thought you were. Literally, you watched the first 3 episodes. No one, not one of them was playing with her. And that switched in moments, but I knew that she was going home, and I told her, and she unfortunately chose not to play yet. So I chose not to make a move at 8 because literally she was telling the people that we were supposed to be coming after. Well, you can't tell Eva, who has an idol, that we're coming for her. And unfortunately, that wasn't shown because it didn't make sense for the edit because everything I was saying was me and Camilla and Kyle. Well, in the edit, it just really didn't show that I was playing um, with them. And unfortunately, like, we ended up getting to 6. I knew one of them would flip. It happened. And unfortunately, wasn't able to win an immunity when it mattered.
That's really eye-opening for a few reasons because one, obviously, as you know, Star was great for TV. I think the fan base like really took a liking
Right.
to her. But I just spoke with Camilla and she said the same exact thing as you, which was the same reason she also couldn't make a different move because Star was untrustworthy. So that's really interesting. Mitch, one of my favorite moments of the season was kind of earlier on, before one of the challenges when Jeff asked you kind of the best way to approach your stutter. And so I'm just curious, like, what did that moment mean to you for him to like actually take the time and care to ask you, the best way to kind of approach that?
Yeah, it meant so much because usually, like, that's a conversation I openly have with people up front, but I really didn't wanna bring too much attention to it. I felt like on the first day I did it, I talked about it and I moved forward, and then in that moment, because I was struggling, I was thankful that he was like, "Hey, like, when you're having a hard moment, like, how should we support you?" And it was so good because I got to let everyone else know I was playing with, "Hey, like, this is what's most helpful to me." And not only did that take a lot of pressure off of how I wanted them to view me, but it just gave me this incredible moment where I got to share with the world, "Hey, like, I'm a person who stutters, and this is the most helpful thing for me." But what was so cool is that Jeff made himself vulnerable enough to say, "Hey, like, I can see you're struggling here. Can you help me help you?" And I think by him being willing enough to ask an uncomfortable question, he ultimately just made everyone in the room feel so much more comfortable. So I'm so thankful for him and everyone at Survivor for just like giving me a space to like openly speak um, comfortably.
Yeah. So, kind of just expanding on that for just another moment here. What do you kind of hope that your stutter being so beautifully displayed on the show does for the stuttering community and just for like the general public to have more knowledge on?
Yeah, there are 80 million people in the world who stutter. That is a lot of people, and so often growing up, like, I never saw someone who spoke like me that was portrayed in a positive way. Like, it's always the person people make fun of, and everyone, like, picks on, and I just I, like, never had hope as a kid. Like, I was like, "Man, like, am I gonna be able to go to college? Am I gonna be able to have a job or have a partner?" Like, just because you don't ever see it, like, it's never out there, and I'm just so thankful for the team at CBS and Survivor for them seeing me as a whole human and for them giving me the opportunity to play Survivor and live out my dream, but also getting the opportunity to show that people who stutter are more than capable of doing anything. Like, literally, like, Survivor is easily the hardest social game in the world, and I was able to go and do that as a person who stutters, and I just hope it shows other people who stutter that if you have a dream, like, go and chase it, even if everyone thinks it's crazy. Like, for the last 10 years, everyone's been like, "Shut up, Mitch, you're not gonna get on Survivor, that'll never happen," and I kept applying. I believed that I had what it took to come out and play, and ultimately, I did.
You proved everyone wrong. You made it all the way to Final Five. And speaking of that, what were your thoughts on Kyle and Camilla telling you that you needed to go because you were a threat, because you were quote unquote too likable? Like, what are those emotions? Someone's like, you're too likable, so that's why you have to go.
I knew that when I came into the game, like, I knew my story was going to be something I, like, really had to manage, and I knew that I was gonna be really likable unbreakable. Which is how come I was comfortable keeping Joe and Eva in the game for a lot of the time. And Kyle and Camille, like, I wanted to surround myself with huge threats and big players. And but ultimately, like, because I didn't have a bunch of agency the majority of the second half of the game, and I wasn't able to win an immunity when it mattered, like, ultimately, I knew that Kyle and Camilla sitting next to me, like, wasn't smart. Like, regardless of what the edit shows and what the internet wants to say about me and being a goat and, "Oh my god, you should have taken Mitch to the end." No, like, if I'm sitting at the end, regardless of what game I played, I am a competitor to get votes from a lot of people sitting on that jury. And it's just really confusing to me how any other season of Survivor, the person who plays a social game is a big threat. But the moment I do it, it's like, "Oh my gosh, Mitch, like, how come you didn't make a move? Why did you win a challenge? Why did you make all these big things?" Like, when I didn't do it, it was a big ordeal, but when people have conversations with sh with Shaheen, like, everyone's like, "Oh, like, he was flexible. He changed the way he wanted to play. He chose not to make a move because he was in a great position." I was also in a pretty good position. I ended up sneaking into the strong 6, and I was working with Kyle and Camilla in a strong 3. Like, whenever, David and and Mary were in the strong 6, and they were on the outs of that alliance. Like, nobody had an issue. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, they're playing great games," and then the moment the vote switches to David and we're about to vote out Star and Mary, it's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he's playing with them. He is on the very, um, bottom." It's like, you're just mad because you were in this alliance, and you aren't anymore.
No, that's great context. Like I said, context is always so important in this game. So I appreciate hearing all that. And you know what? At the end of the day, at least you have a viral video of you because I see that all over my Twitter. The one of you doing it kills me every time. It's so good. So, Mitch, my final question for you, just real briefly: would you compete again on Survivor?
I would go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Well, Mitch, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for bringing so much awareness to the stuttering community. It was so nice to see that beautifully displayed on this season. Congrats on making it to Final Five, and maybe we'll see you again in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.